A routine traffic stop for a speeding SUV takes an unexpected turn when the officer discovers the driver is none other than one of the greatest basketball legends of all time. What starts as a simple encounter transforms into a heartfelt conversation, leaving both men with profound lessons on humility, kindness, and the power of human connection. Have you ever wondered how a random meeting could completely change your perspective on life? Dive into this inspiring story to find out. A police officer pulls over Big Shaq, then realizes who he's talking to. Big Shaq, the towering NBA legend known for his charisma and larger-than-life persona, was driving through the quiet streets of Valdosta, Georgia, one cool evening. Known for his love of cars, Shaq was behind the wheel of his sleek, custom SUV, enjoying a rare moment of solitude. It had been a long day, and nothing relaxed him more than a peaceful night drive. But tonight's tranquility was about to be disrupted in a way neither Shaq nor the police officer patrolling the area could have anticipated. Officer Ethan Carter, a dedicated and by-the-book officer, was on his usual nightly patrol. The streets of Valdosta were usually quiet, and Ethan used the opportunity to reflect on the events of his shift. Earlier, he had issued a speeding ticket and helped a lost teenager, Ryan Davis, find his way home. It was routine work, but Ethan took pride in his role, knowing every small act contributed to the safety of his community. As Ethan cruised along a dimly lit stretch of road, a sudden flash of headlights caught his attention. A black SUV sped past him, slightly above the speed limit. While the infraction wasn't severe, the vehicle's sheer size and the driver's confidence in handling it piqued Ethan's curiosity. He decided to follow the car, his instincts telling him there might be more to this situation than met the eye. Ethan turned on his flashing lights, signaling the SUV to pull over. Shaq noticed the lights in his rearview mirror. Though he was accustomed to being recognized wherever he went, he'd hoped this drive would be uneventful. Still, he dutifully pulled to the side of the road, rolled down his window, and waited. Ethan approached the vehicle cautiously, flashlight in hand. The SUV was impressive, sleek, custom-designed, and exuding affluence. As he tapped on the tinted window, it smoothly rolled down to reveal a face he couldn't immediately place but found oddly familiar. "Good evening, sir," Ethan said, maintaining his professional demeanor. "Do you know why I pulled you over?" Shaq, his voice calm and deep, replied with a smile, "I guess I was going a little too fast." Ethan nodded. "That's right. Can I see your license and registration, please?" Shaq reached into the glove compartment, pulling out the requested documents. As he handed them over, Ethan glanced at the license. The name on it stopped him in his tracks, Shaquille O'Neal. Ethan blinked, staring at the license, then back at the man in the driver's seat. His mind raced. Could this really be Shaquille O'Neal? The Hall of Famer? The basketball icon? The man whose face was everywhere, from sports magazines to commercials? His heart skipped a beat as realization hit. "Wait, are you Big Shaq?" Ethan stammered, his professionalism momentarily slipping. Shaq chuckled, his grin widening. "That's me," he said, leaning back in his seat. Ethan took a step back, his eyes wide with disbelief. He had pulled over one of the most famous athletes in the world. "Wow," Ethan breathed, trying to regain his composure. "I didn't expect this." Shaq shrugged, his demeanor as laid back as ever. "Hey, it happens. Just doing your job, right?" Ethan smiled, appreciating Shaq's understanding. Over the years, he had encountered a few high-profile individuals, but not all of them were as gracious. Many used their fame to intimidate or avoid accountability, but Shaq's humility stood out. "Look," Ethan said, "I'll be honest. I grew up watching you play. You're a legend. I never thought I'd meet you like this." Shaq laughed, his deep voice resonating in the quiet night. "Life's funny that way, isn't it?" They began to talk, the initial tension dissolving into a warm and engaging conversation. Ethan asked what brought Shaq to Valdosta, and Shaq explained that he was visiting family and checking in on a local charity project he supported. Ethan shared stories from his time as an officer, including moments that reminded him why he loved his job, even on the tough days. At one point, Ethan couldn't resist asking about Shaq's career. "Do you have a favorite moment from your playing days?" he inquired, his tone laced with genuine curiosity. Shaq thought for a moment before replying, You know, I've had a lot of great moments, championships, MVPs, all that. But honestly, the best part was connecting with fans, especially the kids. Knowing you can inspire someone just by doing what you love, that's what it's all about. Ethan nodded, moved by Shaq's words. The conversation shifted to deeper topics: humility, resilience, and the importance of giving back. Shaq spoke candidly about the lessons his mother had taught him, emphasizing the value of treating everyone with respect, regardless of their background or status. As their conversation continued, Ethan found himself reflecting on his own life. He admitted that, at times, his job felt like an endless cycle of routine tasks, pulling people over, writing tickets, handling minor disputes. But hearing Shaq's perspective made him realize the ripple effect of even the smallest actions. You know, Shaq said, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind. But don't underestimate the impact you're making. Even if it feels small, it matters. You matter. Ethan felt a lump in his throat. Those words, coming from someone he admired, carried a weight he hadn't expected. He realized how much he needed that reminder, that his work, though often thankless, made a difference. Before they parted ways, Shaq reached into his pocket and pulled out a signed card. Here, he said, handing it to Ethan. A little something to remember tonight. Ethan looked at the card, which read, Asterisk to Officer Ethan, thanks for your service. Every small act of kindness counts. Asterisk. It was signed, Shaquille O'Neal. Ethan's face lit up with a wide smile. Thank you, he said, his voice filled with gratitude. This means a lot. Shaq nodded, his expression sincere. You're welcome. And hey, keep doing what you're doing. The world needs more people like you. As Shaq drove away, Ethan stood by his patrol car, watching the taillights fade into the distance. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, a reminder that his work, no matter how routine it seemed, had meaning. It was a night he would never forget, not because of Shaq's fame, but because of the genuine human connection they had shared. When Ethan returned to the station, he couldn't help but share the story with his colleagues. It quickly became the talk of the precinct, a moment of levity and inspiration that had brightened their night. Meanwhile, the story didn't stay within the precinct for too long. For Shaq, it was just another day, another opportunity to connect with someone and leave a positive impact. For Ethan, it was a reminder of the importance of his role and the power of small acts of kindness. It was a reminder of why Ethan had chosen this path in the first place. For everyone who heard the story, it was a testament to the power of mutual respect and the simple, profound connections that unite us all. This story of Shaquille O'Neal and Officer Ethan Carter teaches us profound lessons about humility, kindness, and the power of human connection. At its core, it reminds us that even in situations where authority and fame collide, respect and understanding can bridge the gap between two individuals from entirely different worlds. For Shaq, it would have been easy to assert his celebrity status or brush off the situation with arrogance. Instead, he chose humility and empathy, treating Ethan not as an enforcer of the law, but as a fellow human being doing his job. Shaq's words about small actions making a big difference highlight the importance of recognizing the impact we have on others, even in the simplest interactions. For Ethan, the encounter reaffirmed the value of his work. In a job often defined by routine and challenges, Shaq's encouragement reminded him that every act, no matter how small, contributes to a greater good. This realization inspired Ethan to see his role not just as a duty, but as an opportunity to positively influence his community. On a broader scale, this story underscores the importance of treating everyone with dignity, regardless of their status or background. It shows how mutual respect can create meaningful moments that leave lasting impressions. In a world that often feels divided, stories like these remind us of our shared humanity and the power of kindness to inspire and uplift. They encourage us to approach each interaction with an open heart and a willingness to connect. What would you have done in Officer Ethan's shoes? How do you think Shaq's humility could inspire us to treat others with more respect? Share your thoughts below, and let's continue this important conversation. Remember, every interaction, no matter how small, has the potential to make a difference. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this inspiring story and want to hear more, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for daily new and interesting stories that can brighten your day and spark new perspectives. Your support helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Until next time, keep spreading kindness and stay connected.